Good morning, everybody. This is Michael at FOUCH FABS. I've got a rare repair video for you today. I had a customer call the shop and they wanted to swap out a sink. So of course you ask them if they have the sink, they want to use one of ours, so on. If it's an undermount, drop in. If they want to use the same hole, if we're going to fab another hole, you know, all the questions that you ask. So, you know, of course you want to have your office staff ask all those questions. As you can see, it's an undermount, large white oval. This one here, it's fine. This one here, I don't know what happened, if maybe something got dropped or over time it cracked or something. But you can see there are big cracks in it. So I've torn out a lot of sinks in my time, and usually if they're installed correctly with the right amount of silicone and stuff, they can be tough. You want to make sure to not put too much pressure in the wrong places, like this front rail or this back rail. I take a lot of shims and work them in there. We might get lucky and they did a crappy job of installing it and there isn't hardly any silicone on it at all, and it might pop right out. You never know. So also, we don't do any plumbing, so we have the customer unhook the plumbing and stuff before we get here. And then we got to look and find out, you know, exactly how they've mounted the sink and all that, which is dark and I know you guys can't see, but I'm going to take a look and see what we got. Depending on how long ago it was installed, whether they drilled into the stone, whether they used wood or whatnot. So we'll have to find a good way to mount this sink. Who knows, they may have even used a key and pulled it up and let it dry to leave it on there. But we're going to get to the bottom of it, and I'm going to kind of walk you guys through and show you what we do. Okay guys, it's been about a minute since I turned you off a second ago. I popped the front false front off of it here, and I had David go out and get us a flashlight so we'd have a little better light. But if you look, the way they've mounted this is they use the old school way of putting the screw head in there and the little wing nuts and tighten it down, which is great. That'll work out great because we can use those on the new sink. So there's 4 of those should be. So all I got to do is unscrew those, turn them to the side, and we can reuse them. I need to unhook the plumbing here, which is not the water plumbing but the pipes. We'll just take a couple pieces of plastic off here. It shouldn't take, you know, much time at all. Like, I don't know what it'd take me here, about, I don't know. Well, if I had both my hands, it'd take me about 5 minutes or 5 seconds. But anyway, I'm gonna hell, I can get it down with that right there now, and I'm just gonna let David kind of record because it's gonna be a pretty quick process. Once I take the nuts off, we're gonna see how strong their silicone is, and then after we get it out, I'll pause it and then we'll show you all what it looks like afterwards and stuff. So here's David. All right, so I'm gonna pop this little thing off so I have a little more play. God knows I'm not a plumber. So with these wing nuts, all you gotta do is just stick your hand up in there and turn them, and then the whole little piece will turn. Sometimes they silicone them in the slots, sometimes they just pop right out. Actually, I'm just going to kind of loosen 2 of them up, 1 on each side. Maybe I'll just loosen them up and leave them all kind of sitting on there where the sink doesn't fall. And then I'll hit this silicone. You know, any job you do, you want to not have any, you don't want to damage the customer's property. And these sinks ain't really heavy enough to do a whole lot of damage to the sink base in the cabinet. But, you know, you just want to be mindful of what you're doing. Alright, I'm going to take your razor knife. Just in this little reservoir right here, you just stick it in here and you kind of want to cut that silicone, and for some reason my knife is going in there. I mean, I don't know what it looks like on the video, but for me doing this several times, it seems to be cutting and going in there really easy. Normally I can't get any penetration in there, And so I'll have to work it a little bit, and then put some shims in there. But I'm actually getting some really good penetration. So I might be able to just push down. No, gonna have to take a shim. So we brought some shims and a hammer. And we've also brought a 5-way. This is a good tool for this. I don't think we're gonna need it on this one, but we may. So anytime you're working with the shims to pop out a sink, you never want to put it in here on your front rail or your back rail. You're always going to want to grab a side area here to kind of work it in. And you'll start to hear that stuff popping. I'm going to make sure that my little clamps aren't going to be what's holding me from taking it down. Alright. You don't want to hit the side of the cutout either. You don't want to damage that. So sorry I got interrupted with a phone call. We've had some issues. Frankie, the sink maker, we had a job and they put the wrong template in the wrong sink box, and the sink had a crack. So the customer came and picked up the sink, and my office girl just pulled the template out of the sink for us to use to do the cutout. When we got to the job site, the cutout was totally different than the sink. But I didn't know if maybe my guys had done something wrong, was telling a story. You know, I couldn't prove anything, so all I could do was just fix it for the customer, which that's all you can ever do most of the time. Well, my wife just calls from the shop, and we've got another Frankie, super single, rectangle sink, and my shop fabricator who drops the sink went to get the template to do the cutout, and he noticed that the template is different than the sink, and it's exactly the same situation as the one I just had to waste a full day's labor, another huge piece of material for a sink run, and it cost the customers another day, kind of made us look dumb. So anyway, I'm having her, video it, get proof and all that. So Frankie needs to do something better with that. So I'm going to contact them and see what I can work out. Alright guys, so I've been getting phone calls, so David had turned the record off. We've got the sink out, so now all we got to do is clean off all the silicone up under this and mount our new sink. And we're ready to rock and roll. So as you can see, there's a bead of silicone around it there. You can see those clips a little bit better. We just got to clean that off, pull the other sink up, hope it matches properly, and that's it. So we're going to get to cleaning, guys. Alright guys, so we scraped and scraped and scraped till we're blue in the face trying to get all that silicone off. I pulled the sink up and tested it just to make sure it's going to work, and it is. So now I'm going to clean it off real good with alcohol, and then we're going to put some silicone on our sink and pull it up and get her done. Alright, as you can see, we put a good bead of silicone all the way around this new one. We've got our bar on here and through, so we're going to pull her up. Let me see this, David, if you'll film while we pull this bad brother up. I'm going to put my clamp in here. Alright, so now we're going to take this in. David's helping while he's filming. We got the faucet in here, which is a little bit different than normal. I should have probably turned my clamp around the other way, but we got it going on now. So I pulled up, we're gonna straighten her up and see what we got. Hopefully it doesn't fall down and break anything. So you want to try to make sure you get the same, you know, same amount of overhang all the way around so that it looks even. And we just, you know, use our hands to kind of feel that. And I think we're close now. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to spin these little clips back around with the wing nuts that they already had in there. And we're going to tighten them back down. And hopefully they don't explode the stone out or anything. See, sometimes these things will move on you a little bit if you ain't careful. So you just want to keep double checking and make sure you're good. So that's another one. I got 2 more in the back that I need to tighten down, and we're pretty much good to go. I'm glad that they had these type of braces in it. They work great. They don't work good in marble because the stone explodes, because you have to cut slices into the bottom, and then the head of the screws got to go in there, and pressure pulled against the, you know, the sides of that slit's what holds it into place. With marble being soft, it doesn't hold it well. And some of your more fragile stones, you know, they have an issue holding it as well. So then we just pop our clamp loose, pull the bottom off. As you can see, I got a little silicone on my arm there. It's okay, it's like a free waxing. So just spray some alcohol, denatured alcohol on it. It helps clean the silicone off. Also lets you know if you got any cuts or scratches or anything. Trust me, it'll let you know. So now I'm going to run a perimeter bead along the outside of this just so she can have a little bit of extra support. We're using a transparent white on this one. So we're just trying to get it in that reservoir there. And to be honest, I'm probably going to go ahead and do it in our other sink, even though we didn't charge for that and she didn't ask us to do it or anything. I don't want it to be on one and not match. And I don't want to leave it off of this one because I think it's stronger if you do it. We didn't do the cutout, so we don't have as much overhang as we would normally have. So definitely trying to hide the little space in there as best I can. So anytime you're using silicone, spray it with denatured alcohol before you wipe it. That'll keep it from making a mess. It won't stick to anything that has that denatured alcohol on it. Almost always I have to go back a couple times to fill in any little holes. I try not to breathe in there because of the silicone and the alcohol. It'll take your breath. Believe it or not, I don't have to do it again on this one. That's just lucky. Most times I do, but I don't know. trust me, I haven't had a lot of luck lately, so that is a rarity. So then we just wipe out the sink, you know, and now we're just going to step over here, and we're just going to put her a little perimeter bead over here so that matches. And I wasn't too impressed with the silicone job that was done on these sinks, so maybe this will help her maybe not have a issue in the future with the sink dropping down or something. And not to mention, she's a nice lady, and we try to do everything we can to help our customers. There's some customers that are buttholes, but we still try to do everything we can to help them, and we can't let a couple bad apples ruin our opinion on everyone. Alright, stick my head down in here. I'm good on this one too, guys. So then you want to, tell your customer to wait, until the following morning, 24 hours, whatever your rule is. The silicone tubes say 24 hours. I tell my customer, as long as they wait till the next following morning, it's plenty of time for that silicone to sit up. And they hook up their plumbing. And that's it. We're just going to clean up our mess and get out of here. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. And we shall see you on the next one.